I don't know. It says go live, and here we are. We're live. That's it. It is Russell 100 presenting the Brewmance. And hey, thanks for hanging out with us. And I say us, just meaning me. Today's just me. Rob is down for the count. Down goes Hunter. Down goes Hunter. He went up to Flagstaff and got the same that intern Beans has, and the entire floor of her dorm. Apparently, it's the Flagstaff flu. We don't know. So Rob is not with us today. He is sounding like garbage and feeling like garbage. So he'll be around for the nooner on Friday. Fear not. The kid bounced back. Such a healthy young man. Yeah, he'll just bounce right back. So Rob Hunter will be with us again on Friday. But this is Russell and Hunter's the Brewman. So thanks for being with us. And if you're hanging out on Facebook, if you're hanging out on YouTube, our apologies if you're trying to find us or you tried to find us on Instagram. The gram's being the gram right now, and I'm having fits with it. So it's giving me fits at least. We'll get that fixed by Friday as well. Just working out the kinks. As like Rob says, we're building something digitally. We're building something online from the ground up. And we're just so very thankful and so very happy to have you along for the ride. And isn't it kind of interesting, though? Like, you back up about 2 years ago, and I would have told Rob, or at least asked him, hey, dude, do you have a test? I can run one over to you. Let me just run one over to you, and I'll drop it at the door and see if you got the bug, see if you got the Rona. And now it's just, and we want to welcome back, I think, as part of the show, on behalf of everyone, part of our show is Rob and Paul and the crew and intern Beans and Sarah and Nuge. We want to welcome the flu back. Welcome back, flu. Flu is back. I took a couple years hiatus when it was known as COVID, and now the flu is back. So when every flu case was essentially counted as COVID, we had, I believe, something absurd, like only 80 flu deaths for 2 straight years, and then shoots back into the over 10,000 range, or the tens of thousands range. So welcome back, flu. We definitely missed you. Welcome back, cries for going to get the flu shot, which I think out of my 48 years in existence, I have had 5 flu shots. Maybe total. I don't know. As a kid, maybe they jabbed me unwillingly. I've no idea, but my trust me, it was back in the days where our parents were putting us in bathtubs if the neighbor kid or your cousin or something got chicken pox. Remember that? That has to be rung up as some sort of child abuse at some point. At some point, it has to be rung up as child abuse. What in the world? Our parents willingly gave us chicken pox just so nobody had to take more time off. If one kid got it, the entire crew of kids had to get it, so they took time. So they take time off. I mean, that's our generation. That is our generation. What's up? Good to see you. It's our generation that our parents were actually ticked off when we were sick. Look, I've been a parent, father of 2.5. We count intern Sarah in there, and when our kids were sick, we're like, oh man, okay, great. Okay, we got a fever. Okay, we know what to do. We're gonna alternate with the ibuprofen. We're gonna the Tylenol. We're gonna get things done. Okay, make them a sick couch on the bed on the out front so they can watch some good shows and stuff while we, I don't dial into work or whatever the heck we had to do. And that was what we did. Our parents were actually mad at us. Our parents actually got ticked off at us when we were sick. Our parents were like, "What? What do you mean no, you're not. You're going to school. Get going to school." See, that's why no major things happened between the Spanish flu and COVID. No major things happened because our immunities were so strong because we constantly were around other sick kids because our parents weren't having it. Our parents were sending us on our way. You get your tookus to school right now, young man, and I got to go to work. Mom and dad got to work, or mom and dad, hey, it's league night. Yeah, I don't know. I go to the babysitter, go do something. It was just nothing. There was no, nothing. Yeah, I had one VHS of WrestleMania something. I forget what it was. It was WrestleMania, whatever. It had Hulk Hogan and, the old Nikolai Volkov, Iron Sheik back in the good old days of wrestling. And I think I watched that thing until the tape just snapped. I remember calling my mom. I was at home alone. I forgot about this. I was literally home alone. And I would call my mom at work. I'd call my mom. I'd go in the kitchen, grab the phone, walk 18 yards away with the thing still in my head. And I'd ask my mom, can I watch the wrestling tape again? Or can I watch it? I think we had one movie. I forget what it was. And it was, I could watch that again and again. And I would ask. And that was it. And I would go back, hang up the phone. I was alone at home, elementary school, sick, stay home. Don't leave doors locked. That's it. Yeah. That's why things are all good when it comes to us as Gen X. So Rob is sick. Anyway, the flu, it should blow your mind if you look at the CDC stats on what happened to flu cases and flu deaths in this country when we had COVID. The most ardent supporters of everything the government did during COVID, the justification for the flu was, oh, see, it works. You see, masking and social distancing and what did they call it? Keeping yourself in the friendly confines of your own house, quarantining is the word I was looking for. That worked. So that's their support of it all. The flu deaths took such a drop during COVID because everyone is taking precautions. Then how did that pesky little COVID virus get in there then? Mm-hmm. As they're both COVID viruses, why was one better than the other? If that's the case, maybe it was manufactured. Maybe it was the result of gain of function. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of I'm very proud of you for being here. You actually might have made yourself a sick couch today as Jeff. Yeah, the latchkey kid. Okay, heck yeah, buddy. Welcome to the crew. I think we're all rowing that boat. The entire generation rowing that boat. If you made yourself a sick couch today because you have a bit of the Super Bowl flu, Super Bowl Monday flu. This is the most called out day in all days. Out of all days in the United States, more people call out on this day than any other day because they just couldn't handle the alcohol. See, I'm German, Scotch, Irish. You ain't gonna hold me back. Of course, I was gonna be here the show today. Come on. And no, by the way, in case you're wondering, Rob is not here because he truly does have flu symptoms and he's just not feeling well. He's feeling like garbage. The kid doesn't drink like that anymore, so he's not. This isn't a Super Bowl flu for Rob. But yeah, if you're with us, thank you so much. The most called out day. Do you know? This is a fun fact. The most popular week, and it's coming up. The most popular week for vasectomies in the nation. Yeah. I can say that, right? It's a family program. It's still the most popular week for vasectomies. The Masters. That's right. Because guys go get snipped and then have the bag of frozen peas on their marbles for an entire week watching the Masters. Not bad. If you're going to plan ahead, just go for it. I mean, I plan around hunting seasons for major operations and surgeries, which I've had a few. I've had several. And so I plan around that. Some people plan for a sporting event, and that is that's that. You know something? If I have to have a major something done, I'm going to do it during the baseball playoffs. Yeah, baseball playoffs. Yeah, but let's talk about that. The Super Bowl yesterday was damn good game. Holy cow. And as much as I hate the Chiefs and hate the 49ers, I actually enjoyed the game. And I enjoy the outcome of the game for two reasons. The outcome of the game, my son is not a bandwagon fan. I can't explain this. He has left the Red Sea. He's left the Cardinals Nation, the Bird Gang, and he is a Kansas City Chiefs fan. His mom apparently decided to just kind of, I don't know how to put this, was not too pleased with me, so made our son a Chiefs fan because her family is from Missouri and Kansas City area. So that all went into, and he said, hey, I'm watching Mahomes on this show Quarterbacks, and I'm going to be a Chiefs fan because he might still be young enough to switch teams. I switched teams. I actually became a Cardinals fan after growing up a Raiders fan. Yeah. And yeah, right. It's understandable. And the reason why, and I do not advocate switching teams by any stretch of the imagination. I just love fandom. I love being a sports fan. I've been a Dodgers fan. I went most of my life without seeing a World Series. So I understand fandom and I love it. It's just kind of the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat from the old wide world of sports days. I actually read an article in Sports Illustrated back when we read Sports Illustrated, back when it was relevant and back when it wasn't putting making odd choices, let's say, for certain covers of certain editions. it said the top 10 reasons, the only 10 reasons where you can leave your sports team. And I thought, okay, I got to read this because I hate the Raiders. I'm just done with the Raiders. And Al Davis, especially. Number seven was actually if the owner of your team is named Al Davis. Done. I didn't have to read any further. I don't even know what 8, 9, and 10 were. Had no idea. Got to 7 and I was good. And then Al Davis died. And who knew he had a kid? Now, if you see a picture of Mike Davis, Al Davis's kid, you know exactly why they hit him. Woo! Yeah. Anyway, so the move to Vegas was not a surprise if you followed the Davis saga. Anywho, so I was excited for my kid that he was very happy at the outcome of the game, and I was very, very pleased with that as well. And I have some people in my life that are Niners fans that I just absolutely love were crying in their Cheerios yesterday. That's it. Those are the only 2 reasons why I was excited for the outcome of the game. But it was a good game, and I have to go back to when Rob and I were talking about this psyop that I believe, and Rob doesn't believe it's a psyop. I do. I believe it's a political psyop. It's basically more than a psyop. I think it's definitely a political move, a political setup, a political storyline, and that is the T-Swizzle and Travis Kelce romance, if you want to call it that. Their business deal. I'm gonna go to my true feelings about the game, but I'm going to walk back to about that romance. But I'm gonna walk back something that I said when I was talking to Rob last week about this and talking to you about this, is that I didn't like it. I didn't see any value in it. I've come around to this because now I do see some value. I do see a little bit of value, and I'm going to tell you why I see value in this obsession with this Kelce Taylor Swift thing. Because of my own personal experience yesterday. I was watching the game with someone who does not know football, does not care about football, never has cared about football, but cares a lot about Taylor Swift. And that young lady was involved. That young lady was all about the game. Now, what is this? Now, why is that yellow line on there? Okay, what are they doing? Why is it so happy? Why are people dancing around when they get a first down? What is this? What does that mean? Okay, so he's about to kick the ball. When he kicks the ball, is that going to be 3 points or 1 point? I love this. I absolutely love this. Because now, next season, when I'm watching a Cardinals game, next time they beat the tar out of the Cowboys, yes, I can actually no. Oh, okay. Oh, is that a field goal? Okay, whatever. They're in. So there is, and I saw it firsthand. So I have to imagine with all the Swifties out there that some of them have actually become fans of the sport, or at least know some about the sport. And all men will come with me on this and know the value that when it comes to dating, be honest here, when it comes to dating, the value of a woman that understands the sport, doesn't have to be a fan of a sport, doesn't have to follow a team, doesn't have to even be athletic, but to be able to be in the same room and understand what's going on with what's on TV is wildly valuable. And the camaraderie that's involved with that, and joining a team and going to certain bars around town, maybe that's the Cardinals bar or a Steelers bar or a Chicago, whatever bar. Yeah, I think there's a lot of value there, and pretty cool for the sport coming up. I mean, the NFL really, I think they made some amount of $billions this year, or something like $50 billion. They're okay. Yeah, they're okay. They don't really need to expand the fan base, but Roger Goodell's job is to expand that fan base, and he's done a great job with this. During the George Floyd era, he brought in Jay-Z to be, and it was embarrassing that he brought in Jay-Z. I did not like the move. I don't think Jay-Z liked the move. Jay-Z thought that I think something was going to come of this partnership with the NFL. Nothing came of it. He was used. But that's Roger Goodell's job. Roger Goodell's job is by hook or crook to make money for the players. I mean, it's make money for the teams. Period. That's his job. And so Roger Goodell, in this whole, let me give you this example. The only sighting I saw of Roger Goodell before the end of the game yesterday was talking to Taylor Swift. And it did not seem like a comfortable conversation. If you actually see if you see the segment, you see the video of that, it does not look like a polite conversation is happening. It is not. I don't know if her flight from Japan was late and she had obligations for photo ops prior to. I don't know. I don't know what it was. You can only guess what it was. But the conversation between, and why is Roger Goodell talking to Taylor Swift and not talking to Jay-Z and Beyonce? Beyonce, I thought, had a funny commercial. That was fantastic with Girls in a Moment. But why is it? I mean, there's Wayne Newton was there for the love of grief. You're in Las Vegas. I mean, he's the king of Las Vegas. He's like the mayor. Why isn't that the photo op? No, it's him and T Swizz having a very, very uncomfortable conversation. Now let me get to this. I mean, let's get to. Should we start with the positive? Positive or the negative parts of the game? Because the negative definitely is the T Swizzle, Travis Kelce part of this. But I think I'm going to start with the positive. We're a glass half full kind of crew here. And thanks for being here. Rob's got the day off. He's just feeling really under the weather, and we're just we're pushing for him for a speedy recovery. He should bounce back. He's a healthy kid, and he'll be just fine back for Friday's nooner. And there is the good part about this. I'm going to tell you about this halftime show. This halftime show to me was more than just a really damn good performance by Usher. Holy mackerel. Look, it's not my music. I know one Usher song. And he started to play and I go, oh, okay. That now I remember that song. That's it. I didn't look up Usher's song. I know who he is. I know he's an icon. And the guy's, I mean, his first hit was in 98, I believe. So we're talking about a quarter of a century ago. And that's really what gets to my point. But first, the actual talent that we saw on stage. Him roller skating. He actually made a commercial about him learning to roller skate that aired today. It's fantastic. I mean, what the guy put on was absolutely fabulous. It was a good and entertaining thing. There was no nipples. There was no wardrobe malfunction. There wasn't any grabbing of crotches. It was just good entertainment. It was an entertainer doing what? Entertaining. It's fantastic. Now, let me bring you to why this is cool. Especially, I'm just an advocate for Gen X. Why this is super cool to me is that they had to dig in the crates 2 years in a row. Our generation's music. Well, again, once you're a country music fan, rock fan, rap fan, R&B fan, hip hop, whatever it is, they had to dig in the crates to our generation to save the Super Bowl halftime show because it was losing relevance. It was losing steam. I still think Prince probably has the best halftime show. I do. But again, that's our generation. That's our stuff. So remember last year was Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, right? Everybody just, I don't care. Again, don't care what genre of music you're into. Icons, moguls, change the world. That's our generation. I think, okay, Alicia Keys was brought out. Alicia Keys' first hit, I believe, was in 2001. Again, almost quarter of a century ago. Right? Luda came out. Ludacris, same time frame. You see, they understand, and they mean the NFL, which is good at one thing and one thing only, and that's making a lot of money. Yeah. You notice you don't see a lot of players getting suspended for steroids? Can't roid up in the NFL, but you don't see anyone getting suspended, yet they're 6'7", 418 pounds and run a 4.6 40. Hey, I'm sure it's just creatine. They're good at making money. And they understand that our generation, Gen X, is the one with money. We're the ones that are spending money. They could have easily brought out, just name the flavor of the month in the kids' music today, and nothing would have happened. I mean, did you the awful rendition of America the Beautiful by The Weeknd? No, it wasn't The Weeknd. What was the guy's name? Yeah, the guy with the tattoos on his face and whatnot. Yeah. Okay, whatever. That guy. This is why I don't have interns around. And Rob's probably watching this right now and just probably screaming at me. I'm surprised he hasn't texted me yet. The name. But okay, Post Malone. So Post Malone, still successful guy, talented dude, but nothing. It's not hitting our generation. Our generation, Gen X, saved, as we're saving this great nation. Our generation is what they have to pull from to say, okay, we need success here. We need people to stay through the halftime show. It's a really BFD, and we need to make it pop. And how do we do that? We pull from Gen X. We pull them in Gen X ranks, and 2 years in a row, they've done a fantastic job, and I mean fantastic job. Yeah, I love the Snoop and Dr. Dre show. That was great. When Dre sat down to that piano and you heard oh, forget it. Yeah, all of us knew. All of us started headbutting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Alicia Keys. What's up, girl? What? Okay, I can appreciate beauty. But Usher had a great performance, amazing performance. Alicia Keys, great. Luda, great. Some dude with a weird mask. Okay, fine. Have no idea who that is. And there was some dude in shorts, in like tuxedo shorts. I'm not hating. I wish I had tuxedo shorts. If you can tell me where I can get tuxedo shorts, yep. 44 long is my suit size. So yeah, 44 long, I'm going to go for it. Yeah, let's go for the shorts. It reminded me, I was like, AC/DC called, and they want their look back. But I'm sorry, banging the camera there. But the halftime show was fantastic. And immediately, those online, the trolls that be, started destroying Usher, started clowning the NFL about it. And you know what? I do follow this. And because I notice the comments that are coming up here. What's happening, Greg? Stephanie, how you doing? And I do notice the comments. Social media comments are some of the darkest, weirdest places in our world. So immediately after Usher puts on this performance that basically just dotted every I, crossed every T, checked every box, it was fantastic to me. And they started just destroying this guy about every little thing, like he had a bobble on his roller skates or something like that. You know, the only people that point out garbage like that are people that are doing less than that they're commenting on. Period. Usher don't care. Usher's doing just fine. Usher doesn't care that somebody thought that it wasn't great. Usher put on a great performance for tens of millions of people. And he knows that. And nobody's going to criticize you that's doing more than you. So when you see all these criticisms, actually, it upset me until I had to remind myself of that fact. It upset me that people were bashing on a really good piece of entertainment. Again, might not be your genre, but who cares? That was good entertainment. That was skill. That was talent. That was amazing what we got to see. It really, really was. So let's get to what this show really gets into is usually what Rob and I talk about over a beer, but it is I know it's happy hour, but I'm a basic white guy with a Stanley, and that actually has water in it. There was something that was interesting and noteworthy. After the Her report came out, I don't know if you heard about this. The Her report. No, it's not it's not a pronoun. It's not a her, he, she. That no. HUR, her. Report came out essentially announcing that Joe Biden is completely incompetent. And we'll get to that in a moment as well. Surprisingly, Joe Biden did not get interviewed at the Super Bowl. Sitting president, get on his side, usually sitting or falling presidents, usually in this case, get an interview, or they do an interview with CBS, whatever. Joe Biden didn't do it last year because it was on Fox, and the Fox brand was just tainted to him, so they say. And this year didn't do it. Donald Trump jumped in, said, I'll do it. It'll be a ratings boom if you do it. And he's right. He's dead right. Whether you like it or not, whether you're crossing your fingers something weird to happen to Donald Trump, I would put the kids' college funds on it. He is going to be the Republican nominee. So he said, I don't know if this has happened before. At the time of the Super Bowl, we're pretty darn sure who the nominees will be for both parties. Okay. I know. Okay. But I'm going to say, how about this? We at large know, we, the people, or the masses, I'll put it this way, assume that these two are going to be the nominees, the assumptive nominees, because Joe Biden, I'm going to claim this. I'm not speaking on Rob's behalf. Rob again is sick today. He'll be back on Friday. I'm telling you, he is not going to. Joe Biden will not be the nominee. And it's going to be either next month or May. I believe it's going to be May. It's an M month. It's my vibe. It's what I'm getting. No, my card reader didn't tell me. No, I don't have a card reader, so that's why they didn't tell me. But he's going to step down or be set aside. This Her report was just the kind of the tip of the iceberg, right? It's just the way it is. because it was damning. I'll just put this. That's the reason why he wasn't interviewed. The friendly confines of CBS couldn't even save Joe Biden. Couldn't even say Joe Biden. And this is why I can easily now circle around Jen Kondasaki style, and circle back to the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce psyop or political strategy, however we're going to put it. I like psyop just because it's just fun to say. And it is easy to see why Taylor Swift is posting pictures not of Joe Biden for president, because if you think back to the Biden-Harris campaign, she was out there posting pictures with her tray of cookies. Remember this? She had the Biden-Harris logo cookies that she was serving a tray, and that was it. That was her stance, right? There's no Biden-Harris 2024 cookies coming from the T-Swizz camp. She had a shirt that said never again and nope. And I believe the O in nope had the Trump hair on it and a red tie coming off. So, and she also posted some video of her crying to her parents and her manager or something like that about how much it's so important to her that Donald Trump never gets elected again. Oh, it's so crucial he never get elected again. Okay. So you see how those tie in. Easy breezy. They can't. The new king and queen of the NFL can't throw their name behind Joe Biden because he's not going to be the nominee. And again, because the Democrats are behind this whole thing. The NFL, the Democrats, everybody behind this. You can't tell me otherwise. It doesn't even make sense to tell me otherwise. Travis Kelce is a talented football player, very talented, seemingly a cool dude. I can tell you right now, very plainly, I don't agree with anything that he's representing, but I don't know that he agrees with anything he's representing either. I don't. I think it is atrocious what he is representing, which is still keep jabbing that thing that we know all the data shows doesn't work. Keep jabbing that in there, but Pfizer, cut me that check. Democrats, cut me that check. Keep jabbing it in your arm. He's a Pfizer rep. And now he is a gun control rep. Yes. Travis Kelce now backing gun control. Oh, I'm not kidding. I'll actually pull up the dang thing here. Travis Kelce is all about basically taking out your Second Amendment. So there is I forget. I'll try to find his post here, and I can't find his post. Anyway, his post was about if we could kill a toddler, we need to do more. Congress needs to act. And it was basically sponsored by the Brady organization. That was the Secret Service guy that was shot during Reagan and wheelchair, the Brady bill, all that. So Travis Kelce is now pitching a jab that doesn't work and for you to be restricted in your Second Amendment rights. So Travis Kelce is all in. Again, talented dude. Looks like a fun guy. I just don't back anything that he is representing right now or being told to represent. And when was the last time you heard a tight end? Like, go the Gronk model, bro. When was the last time you heard a tight end getting political like this? Go the Gronk route. Gronk is just this big, dopey, lovable, awesome dude that everyone wants to hang out with, including yours truly. I remember they tried to cancel him. They're like, oh, Gronk posted a picture of the weekend with an adult film star. Yes. He is a single, young, good-looking, successful professional ball player. He's being young and dumb and rich. Let him be young, dumb, and rich. Cool. Travis, go that route. I'm not talking about hang out with it. You know what I'm talking about. Just stay in your lane. Play football, dude. Play football. I mean, look at Mahomes. Mahomes is weird as Mahomes is. That's my Mahomes impression. As weird as he is, he just kind of stays in his lane. Yeah. And it's only a number of days until his wife tries to take T-Swizz out. Just, I don't hear to hear. Anyway, the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift thing is political as it could possibly be. This is a giant setup to reach her 100 million followers. 100 million followers. You see the White House, and doesn't know say cable news. Cable news has about a 10 million person reach. Taylor Swift has a 100 million person reach. And Travis Kelce, I have no idea. I'll have to look that stat up. But Travis Kelce, I'm sure his following has just gone skyrocket. I forget the him and his brother have a podcast that's sponsored for bazillion dollars by a major corporation. But that guy's basically just towing the corporate line. Whatever sponsors say is what he's going to go for. And so Travis is now a political Dem hack, and there it is. And we can see it for what it is. We can see it. The funny thing to me is I see a lot of young people that are all on this whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift bandwagon. A lot of people that are just protesting, there's Gaza, Israel, and free Palestine, and they're boycotting companies that won't support Gaza and all that, or don't support abortion rights or same-sex marriage, whatever it is. And they're like, oh, we can't have these corporations control us, and oh, damn the man, and Rage Against the Machine. But they're all in on this Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce thing. All in. Not seeing right before their eyes. This is just served up. This is served up on a silver platter by the Democrat Party. I was watching a kid, this young guy that he does, he basically squawks online. He's got a 400,000 following or something like that. And he squawks a lot online about the economy. And he's like, the economy sucks. The economy sucks for everyone. The economy's terrible. The economy has been terrible. There are several reasons why the economy is terrible. And he's not an economist. He just says, here's how much my grocery bill was, that kind of thing. So he's talking about, basically Bidenomics suck. And then he was reached out. He was actually approached by the DNC and asked, DNC or the Biden campaign, and asked, how much money would it cost for you to post something positive about Bidenomics? And he's posting this. He's showing what he was sent. And he said, he's not an economist. He can't intelligently say something or rather about how Bidenomics works. He goes, he doesn't know how Bidenomics works. He just knows I can't afford anything. So usually this guy, and this is his business, social media is what he does. Usually he charges $5,000. If somebody wants to do a brand ad, he charges $5,000. So he's like, you know what? I'm just going to throw out a number here. I'm going to throw out a number here to the DNC. $50,000. $50,000, see what they say. They took it. They said yes. He didn't take the money. God bless the guy for standing on principle. He was like, I was playing a joke. I don't believe in Bidenomics. I'm not going to say anything positive about it. I don't believe in the economy right now because it's terrible. So I'm not going to say anything positive about it and make myself look like a complete fool. So I'm just not going to do it. But $50,000, no problem. That is how much. And so, okay, so I'll back that. That's how much they will pay one person with a 400,000 person following. One person. $50,000 for one post. To tell those 400,000 people, or at least attempt to tell all 400,000 people that Bidenomics is working. You think that the DNC hasn't paid millions to make sure that everybody is just falling in love with the new darlings of the NFL? Exactly. Okay. Again, I believe in coincidences. I've just never seen one. Thanks for hanging out. This is Russell and Hunter's Brewmance. Rob's got the day off. He is just feeling under the weather, not feeling good. And trust me, he was when Rob sends a text saying, dude, I'm just going to tap out. I have to tap out. I know he's not feeling good. He's not doing well. So Robbie is he will be back, and he's got a bit of the bug. But he'll be back. Intern Beans laid out too. It must be stuff. They were all in Flagstaff this weekend. So apparently there's something going around in Flagstaff. Be careful. If you're going up in snow, holy mackerel, it's snowing up there, and we needed it. I'm all about it. So thanks for being with me. I'm Mike Russell, and we're just going to keep keeping on here. Here was an interesting thing from the Super Bowl that everybody likes to talk about. They all like to talk about the commercials. So let's talk about the commercials. I think the commercials were me. There were some that were fun. There were some that were kind of made you laugh. Some kind of made you think. But I want to get into a couple of them because they're important. Obviously, Rob has a favorite, and I'll verify this on Friday. I'm sure his favorite. I've known that guy for 16 years. Rob and I truly have been friends, very close friends for 16 years. My kids call him Uncle Rob. It's something we just we've worked together this long. We've been through the trenches together in this industry, and we're tight like that. I know Rob's taste. And if there is if there's a commercial that has not only Ben Affleck, but it has Matt Damon, and it has Tom Brady in it, it's going to be his favorite. I mean, are you kidding me? This is something that if Rob could script a perfect Super Bowl commercial, the only two people we're missing would be Andre 3000 and Big Boy from Outkast. That would be the only two people missing from that entire commercial. Straight up. And it started with J-Lo, so you had me. You had my vote. So if you didn't see us, it was J-Lo was doing some sort of recording session, and Ben Affleck jumps in, and they're the Dunk Kings. It's a Dunkin' Donuts commercial. And Ben Affleck has started a boy band called the Dunk Kings, and Tom Brady is the DJ, and one of the backup singers apparently is Matt Damon, and it's all kind of hilarious. I was laughing out loud. It was good. It was solid, and that's what I want all advertising really to be, including the Super Bowl. Advertising just get back to just be creative, be fun, be exciting. Car commercials are usually just nailing it. Car commercials nail it. There was that one, the ice skating one where, you think she was going to, that she had to go put on the private show with the, So, I mean, there was some cool commercials. And of course there was a Budweiser commercial with Little Puppy and the Clydesdales. So why not? Why mess with success? I vote we bring back the Bud Light Frogs, but seemingly I don't have a vote with Budweiser. Budweiser, call me. So the obviously the fave goes to Rob's, the Dunk Kings. And did you see the Kennedy commercial? Holy cow. If you didn't see the RFK Jr. commercial, this was impressive. I was absolutely blown away by this commercial because it was a JFK commercial, or it might have been a Bobby Kennedy commercial. It was one of the Kennedys for president commercial. It might have been ready for Bobby when he was the heir apparent to take over, and that was the whole plan by the Kennedys. But I believe it was a JFK commercial, and it was just Kennedy. It was Kennedy, Kennedy, Kennedy. But they, instead of having B-roll of JFK, they had B-roll of RFK Jr. And I was blown away. I was like, holy cow, we haven't seen one political commercial, and I was impressed. I was like, wow, that was really cool to see. The reason why I bring this up, the reason why I'm talking about this commercial, not that it was my favorite or not that it was something that, oh my gosh, I was so excited that RFK Jr. had a Super Bowl ad. I bring it up because RFK Jr. had to apologize for that today. RFK Jr. had to apologize because apparently it was insensitive and used without the permission of the Kennedy family. Now, this just goes out to show you how swampy the Kennedys still are. I don't care if I don't like my cousin. I don't care if I don't like my nephew. I don't care if I don't like my whatever. My brother Steve. I love you, Steve. But if they're running for president of the United States, I'm going to just be cool. Like, do what you do, man. However you're going to make it happen, however you can make it happen, go for it. And I think that is important to point out because the Kennedys aren't that way. You see, RFK Jr. is not bowing to the DNC as the Kennedys do. That's a meal ticket. The swamp is an absolute meal ticket for any legacy family. It could be the Bushes, it could be the Clintons. It could be, the Obamas. Trust me, the Obama girls are going to be taken care of by the Democrat Party. They have their ticket written. They can any event they want to speak at, any young women's empowerment forum, anything like that. The DNC is gonna if they can get one of the Obama girls again. So they don't buck the cart. The Obamas don't buck the cart. The Bushes don't buck the RNC. Jenna's got a tight gig on NBC. They're not going to come on. Let's keep things going here. We're not going to mess up this gravy train. RFK Jr. kind of did. RFK Jr. is taking on the third term of Barack Obama. He's taking on Joe Biden. And now he's running a Super Bowl ad, reaching hundreds of millions. Everybody's going to see it. He had to apologize to his family because his family was in an uproar. And I don't take that as RFK Jr. apologizing because he's so sorry that it happened. I think he just didn't want to hurt his family's feelings. And, of course, they played the victim route. Whoever was offended by it played the complete victim route. And, it just brought up memories. And, whatever, your dad, your uncle, your whatever died. Deal with it. Holy mackerel. My dad died. I see pictures of my dad. I get happy. I see stuff from my dad. I still handed my son. How cool is this? Intern Nuge, my son, he wanted to take up golf. He wants to learn how to golf. He's 16 years old. He wants to learn how to golf. I got to this weekend go hit golf balls with him and take him his grandfather's clubs, my dad's clubs. That was totally cool. If he wanted those clubs, I wouldn't say, oh, no, that's going to offend the family, you playing with those clubs. Bozos, Kennedys, holy mackerel. So anyway, he had to apologize. It's absolutely staggering to hear somebody apologize because it was set up through a PAC. And apparently, if a commercial is done through a PAC, it doesn't have that I'm RFK Jr. and I support this message. It doesn't have an I'm Joe Biden, I support this message. I'm Donald Trump and I support this great message, the greatest message of all time. You don't have any of that. A PAC doesn't need approval. They can say, I can start a PAC right now and run as many Donald Trump commercials as I want. I can. And I don't need the Don's approval. I don't need his campaign's approval. I don't need the RNC's approval. I can run them however I want them. And, Mike, we got to get dark money out of politics. Okay, I agree with you, but good luck. So he had to apologize, which is absolutely it was lunacy. Speaking of lunacy, Joe Biden did not have an interview because he's incapable of having an interview. He didn't have a Super Bowl commercial, but he did have a message pre-Super Bowl that was aired in several places, mostly social media. And if you saw this, it was, again, the White House in the Biden campaign, they're batting 1,000 on this, on being completely tone deaf on what we are really concerned about in this nation. We have two wars escalating right now. We are giving tens of billions of dollars that we don't have that we could be using towards veterans charities or housing homeless veterans in this nation, but we're giving it to a corrupt little dictator named Zelensky. We have all this going on. Joe Biden and his campaign and his White House, using your money, decided to do an ad of him sitting in a theater. Maybe this is the White House theater. I probably is what it is. And he's got some snacks beside him. And he's talking about the big game and the snacks that you're going to buy and what you're going to be eating at the game. And he said, you might notice the corporation, the ice cream tubs are smaller, but they're charging the same price. There's less chips in a bag, but they're charging you even more money. The nefariousness of corporate shrinkflation. And he actually used shrinkflation. Actually talked about he doesn't know. He can't even pronounce shrinkflation. Just said it on the closed caption. So he's talking about shrinkflation. Taking on, when we're talking about the Super Bowl, we are knee deep in psyops. We're knee deep in wars. We have, by the way, what do they call it now? They're calling it stagflation. No. The inflation is not going up as high as it used to be, but still going up. Prices are still going up, and they're not coming down. As a matter of fact, as a side note here, Janet Yellen last week, said very clearly that we don't need to get those prices down. She said those words. We don't need to bring those prices down. It's here to stay. She said because wages are going up. It's nonsense. That's what she said. But with all this happening, the White House and the Biden campaign thinks, boy, if he just really relates to people and shows them that things are they're getting less and paying more, that this will solve all our ills if we just call up the corporate manufacturers of these foods and we say, you need to stop this shrinkflation. You need to stop it right now. Yeah, no. Completely tone deaf and absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That's what they came up with. They've had the Her report that says that he is incompetent, and their response is, let's get him in front of a camera talking about shrinkflation. I believe shrinkflation exists. I get it. I understand that. But I'm not calling up Kellogg's and saying my box of Cheerios was 15 rings short, and they need to fix that. It's, again, the Biden administration blaming others for their failures, blaming others for inflation, blaming others for us getting the shaft here when it's their fault. Remember when gas prices were just skyrocketing? They still are high. Gas prices still are high. If anyone said, hey, gas prices are coming down, you're like, did you fill up at 340 yesterday? Yeah, I did. Did it still cost you over $100 to fill your tank? Yep, still does. Yeah. And remember, Joe Biden and the crew blame that on the mom and pop shops. Blame that on the husband and wife that just that started their own business, and they have a convenience store and gas station. It's their fault that gas prices are so high. They are fleecing America, said the White House and said Joe Biden. It's absolutely staggering that this is still their play. But as we talked about on Monday, the Smith-Mundt Act was repealed by Barack Obama, which allows the establishment, Washington, D.C., to propagandize our citizens. It's legal. Them lying to you is legal because they can propagandize. Let's stay with the ridiculousness of the Super Bowl commercials. One in particular, I'm going to get to right after I say, listen, if you follow us on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're following us on Facebook, get over to YouTube as well. Check us out and subscribe and follow along. That'd be great. Download the podcast, which will be available right after the program is over. So we do appreciate you hanging out with us. And this is a big one. Oh, and by the way, Rob has the day off. He is very sick. He's a bit verklempt in his Kalepnikas. He's having his Gespilkus inspected by a doctor at some point. Speaking of which, I'll get to the commercials in a second as well. I am now without insurance. So there is a scary component of being without health insurance. And I think it's only scary because we've been taught that you have to have it. And like a lot of things that we've been told that we have to have in our lives, and a lot of things that we have to do in our lives, when you do the math, like, wait a second, none of this makes sense. So let me get this straight. I'll give you my personal experience. For me and me alone, I would say me and my son. For me and my son, I would have to pay $700 a month. $700 a month. So we have insurance. That comes with a $19,000 deductible. Mm-hmm. Hefty copays. And then after the deductible is met, I believe it was a 70-30 or 80-20 split for everything that happens. That's highway robbery. Let me tell you why. Because let's say something does happen. But Mike, what happens if your kid breaks his leg? What happens? Oh my gosh. I'll tell you what happens if you have insurance. You have to pay the entire amount out of pocket if you haven't hit your deductible yet. If you have hit your deductible, you're going to be paid 30 or 20% of the total bill. Still paying money. And on top of that, then your insurance premium goes up. But Mike, they can't deny you for a pre-existing condition. They can. They can't deny you, but they can charge you more. And they do. So it's essentially financing whatever you have going on. See, it just didn't make sense to me. And then I started looking into cash pay. And I was like, holy cow, this is cheap. This isn't expensive. I saw my doctor on Thursday. It's $95. I got an appointment on the 21st. $95. That's a far cry away from $700. But here's what I found that I want to bring up, which is absolutely staggering about the insurance biz, is that I just wanted catastrophic insurance. I have money saved in the bank for my health care because I have had 2 brain surgeries. I'm kind of high risk. So I wanted catastrophic insurance. So I wanted to pay like X amount of deductible, whatever thousands that is, and just pay a lower premium. I don't qualify. No, it has nothing to do with income. You'd be surprised with people in radio make. It has nothing to do with income. It has the fact that I'm over 30. See, Obamacare changed the rules that if you want catastrophic insurance, you have to be under 30. And that all comes out to the actuary tables and what you would actually use and how many people under 30 actually need catastrophic insurance, how many over 30 need catastrophic insurance. So they said, okay, the cutoff's 30. Mike Russell, a very healthy 48-year-old man, cannot have catastrophic insurance simply because of his age. I claim ageism. It's ageist to tell me that I can't. And I identify as a 25-year-old. So, yeah, none of that is working. No, none of that is working. Here was a seeming win. No, I'm going to back up. Sorry, I'm dancing all over the place here. Rob isn't here to keep me in line. 16 years, Rob kept me in line. I'm not kidding. And he's just sick today, so he'll be back on Friday. But the wild thing is that Rob will finish my sentences. Sometimes because of my brain injuries, I do forget things. I'll forget names. Hell, there was one show where I forgot Nancy Pelosi's name. Not kidding. Couldn't think of it. To save me, couldn't think of it. Rob just said Nancy Pelosi and just continued. That's why I love that kid. So I have him around. It's good to have him around. So I'll bounce around a little bit without Rob Brown. He can't keep me in my lane. Did you hear at the beginning the national anthem? Nope. Not the Star Spangled Banner, not our national anthem. Not America the Beautiful, sung terribly. The Black national anthem. This was interesting to me. I know why they did it. This is another ripple effect from the George Floyd incident. And yes, I do know the whole story of George Floyd. You don't have to comment on it, but please comment along, play along. I love that. I do know the whole George story. I know the autopsy report. I know everything going on with it. I promise. I just shove and all that stuff. But this lift up your voices or hearts and sing, which something to that effect, has now been dubbed the Black national anthem. I'm insulted by this. I hope the entire Black community in this nation is crazy insulted by this. Because we're in the middle of Black History Month. And I know Rob's going to want to weigh in on this on Friday, so I'll tee him up on Friday as well, because there's no one, I don't know anyone who has studied civil rights more than Rob Hunter. The Black civil rights movement, the Black culture, Rob is a student of. And so I'm interested to get his thoughts on this, but having a Black national anthem in the middle of Black History Month is again tone deaf and stupid. Period. If we are saying Black History Month, Black history is American history, American history is Black history, we hear that often. Then why are we then our national anthem is everyone's national anthem. And I say our national anthem, I mean all races, colors, and creeds of the United States of America. And as a matter of fact, if you're sitting here, even if you aren't a citizen of this nation, but you are here with your feet on this ground, and you're doing right, and you're following the rules, by God, stand for it. Throw your hand over your heart. This is a great nation, and you came here for a reason. But you can come here for a Black national anthem. That's insulting. It's as insulting as, oh, well, if we require people to have an ID to vote, that's going to disenfranchise Black voters. That is a huge insult. So was the Black national anthem. I was watching this portion of the Super Bowl with a very liberal, very open-minded human being. And this man was shocked. He goes, is this serious? Is this called the Black national anthem? Are you kidding me? The joke, this is a real thing? He was just aghast by it. He was blown away by it. This is, a very liberal man. A very liberal man. And he's like, I'm not understanding what I'm seeing here. Why is she singing it? So he didn't even understand. Do we stand? Do we put our hands on our hearts? How do we do this? I don't understand why we'd call something a Black national anthem. Because the national anthem that we have is everyone's national anthem. It is the anthem of our nation, not the anthem of our skin color. It's not the anthem of our background. I'm German, Scotch, Irish. I have a very different anthem if that's the case. But the national anthem is something that still to this moment gives me chills. I love it. I don't even understand why I take that back. I do understand, and I understand very well why this is done. It's done to divide. This is a divisive song. It's a divisive move. The lyrics of the song are beautiful. It's not a divisive song lyrically. What the powers that be in Washington, D.C., and these punks that want to divide us have done is they've used this beautiful song to divide us. That's what I mean by it's a divisive song. So I should rephrase that. The use of this song is divisive. It's done intentionally. So you feel excluded if you are not part of the black community. You need to feel completely excluded. But Mike, the black community has felt excluded for a long time. I know, by the Democrats that enslaved them and by the Democrats that currently use them for votes and will not let them out of their current situation because they are making sure that they are beholden to them for their votes, their power, and their money, period. End of story. Democrats, the most racist group. I'm talking about electoral. I'm talking about those in Washington, D.C. Democrats, the most racist group on the planet, period. Period. And you see that with, the NFL bowing to the government, bowing to the powers that be. It's, oh, yes. We need to let all the woke people know that we're not racist. We have a black national anthem. Dude, we know you're not racist. 85% of your staff is black. The NFL is majority black. Please don't give me this noise. Okay, fine. You just don't need it. Good grief. That's wild. But then in that moment, they went to commercial. And the commercial was interesting to me because I wasn't seeing a lot of politics. You know when I saw the politics? I saw it on the field. I'm going to get that commercial in a minute. I told you, Rob's not here to keep me in my lane. He will be on Friday. He's just sick. When I saw the football team from Maui come out on the field, I about jumped through the TV. I thought this grandstanding, nonsensical garbage to make it look like we as the United States, I mean, the powers that be in the United States, give a rat's flying arse about Maui, about Lahaina, to pretend by bringing the football team out. I mean, for the kids, that's pretty cool. The kids are like, they're pretty fired up. They're on the field of the Super Bowl. I mean, come on. For the high school football players, fine. The coaches knew what's up. You see those lame handshakes he was giving everybody? He's like, whatever. He was almost angry to be there. And he should be. Because what's going on in Maui right now has not changed in 5.5, almost 6 months. Hasn't changed. The situation hasn't changed. These people are getting thrown out of their lands. I'll bring this up with Rob because I have a lot of deep thoughts on this that I want to get into, and none is good about what's going on. What is going on in Lahaina right now is tragic. It's un-American. It's disturbing on so many levels. I'm not talking about weather guns and this and that. I'm not talking about any of that. I could probably get into that, but I'm not. I'm talking about these people getting bounced around from hotel to hotel. They can't go to their land. They can't clear out their property. Some are getting evicted. Some are getting foreclosed on. They're still paying their mortgages and their rent. They don't live there. And they have some have tried to put RVs or portable homes, mobile homes, tiny homes on their property to live. They get kicked out. Investigation still ongoing. Nope, gone. Got to get out of here. It's disgusting that the NFL dragged those kids out as a prop. So now you know, hand in hand, powers that be, NFL, that's the way that goes. Oh my gosh, can I finally get to that dang commercial? Okay. I will. Thanks for hanging out. This is Russell and Hunter's the Brewmance. Rob has the day off. He's just sick. He's got, like I said, a little verklempt Glebnick. He's a little, got a little bit of that. And it was funny, right when I was about to jump on air here, I was like, yeah, feeling the same way. I'm good. Just a long day. And no, it's none of the flu. I actually wasn't even drinking during the Super Bowl, so it isn't the Super Bowl flu. Anyway, let's get to the commercial. He gets us, right? I know you remember it. He gets us. Right? This collage, this beautiful artwork, this fantastic artwork, beautiful song playing. Talking about this is biblical. This is talking about Jesus. It's touching. And I mean, if there was any religious campaign, that's pretty cool. This is kicking you in the feels, the He Gets Us campaign. And this isn't the only time they've done the He Gets Us campaign. This is, I believe, their second rodeo on the Super Bowl. He Gets Us is impactful. And I was impacted by it. It was impressive to me. But I'm going to I'm going to this might sting a little bit. I saw comments, which I think was a very interesting take on the He Gets Us campaign. The He Gets Us campaign, some say, and when I say some, I'm talking about one or two people that I saw talking heads on social media. So it's not a representation of a good portion of the country, because I believe, as a Christian man, I believe we see that and we're like, holy cow, that was pretty cool. I don't really know what the ultimate goal is. Maybe it's hey, check out a church, or hey, be cool. Go the Jesus route. Just be super cool to everyone. And that's it. It was Jesus washes feet. That's what it was. So it was this montage of artwork of seemingly opposite sides of anything. The other was washing the other's feet. Like, I understand you, I get you. It was a very beautiful sentiment. Some of the comments I read was it followed a narrative, and I don't disagree with this. I do not disagree with this. That it does follow a narrative. There was no pictures of a maybe like a liberal washing a person in a MAGA hat's feet, or a Black Lives Matter or Antifa rioter washing somebody, a Republican's feet, or something like that. There it was always the seeming victims of everything having their feet washed by what would seem to be the oppressors, which is, now, come on, let's be honest, you and I. And I felt that sting a little bit when I was reading that. So I went back and looked, and I could see how that could be taken from the commercials. So I went back, I looked at the commercials, and I was thinking, yeah, you know what? This isn't entirely wrong. It's actually a pretty, I would say it's a deep way to look at it. We in this business, we call that a take. That's actually what we'd call a hot take. And the reason why we call it a hot take is because it's not lazy. That's not a lazy take. That's actually something you actually studied that and said, oh, wait a second, I'm feeling something wrong here. I need to dissect it and find out why I feel that's wrong. So getting into this, I started getting a little hot about it and thinking, oh, I know what I'm talking about with Rob today. This is before I knew he was sick. And then I thought, damn it, Mike, if you're complaining about the other side complaining about every little darn thing and trying to cancel every little darn thing, why are you doing the same? Told you it might sting a little bit. I agree. Maybe that was it. Maybe the intent was to make conservative white people look bad. I don't know. Maybe it was made to look the economic establishment look bad. I don't know. But is it going to change? Is it going to move the needle at all? No, it's not going to move the needle a little bit. So why am I complaining about it? Because I would probably bet that the vast majority, and I mean vast majority, of those that saw the commercial went, oh, you know what? That's right. We just got to understand people a little more. And we can all use a little bit of that. Y'all mother bleepers need Jesus. We could all use a little bit of understanding. I'm a mobile judge. I judge everybody. I'm one of the worst at it. And I'll admit to it. I'm one of the very worst at it. It's something I should work on. But I've become in my older age a little bit more empathetic. And I think that that's what that commercial and that campaign is preaching. Just the empathy of, look, everybody's got something going on. We're all human here. Let's just reach out. And if it was a lesson that we could use for this election year, I think that's it. Really, understand. And I think a lot of people vote for a Joe Biden. People vote for a Donald Trump that just don't understand the other side, or take the time to understand the other side, and not understand, or don't take the time to understand that what we feel about what we are told is the other side has been fed to us. Has been fed to us by the media, has been fed to us by corporations, and has been fed to us by politicians, period. I care very deeply for very, very liberal people and think they're amazing, wonderful humans, because that's what we are. We just don't agree ideologically. We don't. And I think that if we took the time to kind of take what that ad was about, instead of complaining about that ad, well, no one was washing any MAGA guy's feet. Okay. Okay, get over it. Isn't that what we tell everyone else? We tell the other side, man, those snowflake liberals, they just toughen up a little bit. Hey, maybe we just toughen up a little bit. Maybe we toughen up a lot of bit. As a matter of fact, maybe we just toughen up a lot of bit and go knocking on some doors. We toughen up a lot of bit and just ask a simple question. Are you better off now than you were under Donald Trump? Okay. Maybe start asking those kind of questions. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. That and Rob will be back, Jeff. Rob's going to come back on Friday. He's just sick today. And really sick. Trust me, when Rob taps out, Rob is sick. Rob don't play. But I think it's a good lesson for us to just, you know what? I can teach instead of preach. I can listen instead of talk. I always learned that God gave you two ears and one mouth for a reason. Wants you to listen twice as much as you talk. And so listening and understanding is, I think, what that message was. So if you were offended by the he gets us movement or the he gets us commercials, well, sorry, toughen up, Buttercup, and go do something about it. How about that? That's a message from Rob Hunter. I love that. Rob's like, don't say that, man. Be about it. Just be about it. Holy cow. Yeah. And you're right. I think in Rhonda, I'm sorry. I do. When I do look over at the comments, I do need to get my glasses on. Yeah. I know. Hold on a second here. You can't change a Trump hater. You can't. In Rhonda, I got to tell you, that is so very, very true. Those hating on Trump, it's almost clinical. They have been conditioned by all media to hate a man who quite literally made most of us money. We are all 17 to 20% poorer today than we were under Donald Trump. That's a fact. That's not making up. That's not somebody says. No, that's fact. This is our grocery bills. What your grocery bill is. Gas is what gas is. Heating is what heating is. Energy is what energy is. Period. And it's all more expensive. And those that have just been taught, mean orange man, bad. It's just the way it is. But I do want you to have hope. Have hope in what I feel. I feel we the people are the smartest group in the world. I really do. I believe, and I'm not talking about the 10% on the right that are lunatics and the 10% on the left that are lunatics. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about you and I. You and I, Rob, we are the 80% in the middle that can have a beer and just chat. On Friday, I'm going to share with you, there's a potential run-in that I'm going to have this weekend at an event of someone who really, really doesn't like me. And when you hear the name, you'll know why. But I'm going to have to, suck it up, Buttercup, because I'm the vice president of this organization. And he's the guest. And I'm going to have to extend a hand and kind of just, hey, let's talk it out. We're going to have to. And so I understand what you're saying, Rhonda, that there's some people that just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the facts. I don't want to hear the evidence. I don't want to hear that. What's that woman's name that sued him for sexual assault with zero evidence, and now for slander or whatever it was? Oh my gosh, come on! And the judge and her attorney worked together for 24 years. We can say that all we want. We can talk about old Fanny down there in Georgia. We can talk about her and her nefarious doings. No. We don't want to hear that. She's going after Donald Trump. We don't want to hear that. I understand what you mean. I do understand what you mean. But I think that we, the people, are smart enough to vote with our wallets, vote with our economy, and we'll know the difference. If it is truly Joe Biden against Donald Trump, Trump's going to mop the floor with him. The Republicans will pull shadiness. They always do. If we're ready for that, if we can combat that, if we can, like I said, toughen up Buttercup and get after it, I think we'll be just fine. But I don't know who they're going to put in Joe Biden's place. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm sorry, I'm dancing around there, but I mean, Joe Biden will be replaced. I'm putting the kids' college money on it. I'm betting the farm on that. He will be replaced. And whoever it is, I've heard somebody say that it's going to be a Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama ticket. Bring it. Could you imagine the hilarity in that? Oh my goodness sakes. So anyway, I do understand what you're saying on there. It is just it's It is a you-know-what show. This is Russell and Hunter's The Brewmance. Thank you so much for streaming along with us on Facebook, on YouTube, and Instagram. We got to get this figured out. Instagram is kind of odd in what we do. We need a stream key, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, so we'll figure that out. We're going to be streaming on X starting on Friday as well. So that's going to be exciting. So we're going to expand this, and we're here with you, and you're part of this ground floor, building this right back up to where we had it a couple of months ago as Russell and Hunter. So we're just excited that you're here. We're honored to have you here, and thank you for playing along with us. We really do appreciate it. And I keep saying us. I know if you're new, it isn't us. There is a Hunter, the Rob Hunter side of this program. He's just sick today. Some tragic news. Over the weekend, I don't know if he caught it. It was absolutely atrocious. There was a woman that went into Joel Osteen's church, and as I mentioned earlier, as a Christian man, I'm not a fan of Joel Osteen. I'm not. I really am not. I'm not a fan of a lot of the megachurch dudes. It's me. It's my personal opinion, but it's never a cause for a woman to walk in with her child in a trench coat with an AR-15 and open fire on the joint. Okay? Luckily, and there's a reason I'm about to get to that you haven't heard a lot of this story. You might have heard initially, but then poof, it went away magically. She went into the church, pulled out the AR. She squozed off a few rounds, and off-duty police officers acting security. And I mean, these are young dudes. They're like, I think one was 2 years on the force. One was in his 30s, but only had like 6 years on the force. Pop, pop. Mom gone. Gone. Shoot her down. Unfortunately, the child was struck. I don't have an update on that child's well-being, but the child was in critical condition. It's tragic. Mom's fault, 1.5 million. Not the security guard's fault by any stretch. But, I mean, can you imagine being those security guards? I mean, just a side note here. You take a life, even knowing that you saved lives, is a tough thing to deal with. It is just a very, very hard thing to deal with. And then you might have taken the life of a child accidentally while trying to save several people. I can only imagine what they're going through. My heart goes out to them. It just really, really does. And if you see anywhere along the line that somebody's setting up a little something for them, forward that along to Rob and I, will you? And hopefully we can send that out. And hopefully those guys are going to be taken care of because they deserve. They're heroes, true heroes. The reason why you're not hearing about it is because it is, again, a long string, a very troubling string of shooters or potential mass shooters that are on the LGBTQIA spectrum. That's it. This one, trans woman. And I really didn't get into it because I was like, here we go. This is why it's going to be buried. That's why these two men are not going to be celebrated as heroes in the media, because they saved everyone at Joel Osteen's mega church. They're not going to be celebrated as heroes because they shot a trans person that was going to go in and kill a bunch of people. On the AR-15 was written "Free Palestine." Oh, now you know you're not going to hear anything about it. And this is in a string of trans or non-binary. I'm talking about people on the LGBTQIA spectrum. And I think that's an easy way. If anyone's offended by that, whatever, toughen up. If you're offended by that, I call it a spectrum because it's so vast at this point. We have to, if we draw a line, it's going to make it a lot easier for a lot of us to understand what's going on, keep score, so to speak. So is it okay? Is that what the media is teaching? Is that what the corporate media is teaching, that it's okay to do these things just as long as you're on the LGBTQ spectrum? That we're not going to talk about gun control and undercutting our Second Amendment rights because this shooter was trans. There's other things at play there. If you go back to the Nashville high school shooting with the trans kid had that big manifesto that was leaked. And that manifesto was basically regurgitating everything we learned from the mass media about being a white person and from critical race theory. That manifesto said, essentially, I feel too bad being me. I'm going to go take out all the people that are like me because of my guilt, and I'm going down with them. So then you see a trans person going into a church, a mega church, and having Free Palestine written on the AR. This person is being spoon-fed a narrative that has driven that person, once again, I don't know if he, she, it was trans, this trans person to go commit a mass murder, or at least attempt to commit a mass murder, and now is dead, lost that person's life. When you hear your kids talking about, I want to protest or boycott this organization because they're on one side or the other, those are teachable moments. And I'm begging you, on behalf of our nation, those are teachable moments you need to have to. It is your duty as an American to have those conversations with your kids. I remember when my kids were asked me about Chick-fil-A. And he said, Dad, Chick-fil-A, I heard, was against gays. They're anti-gay. No, I believe the founder donated something to a organization that was against gay marriage or something like that. It was something just okay. By the way, you are probably wearing some clothing right now that has somebody on the executive board that doesn't like gay marriage. I just deal with it. And so I had to explain. I'm like, no, that's not the company. By the way, the Chick-fil-A up here and the Chick-fil-A over there that we go to, they're actually owned by people that aren't that person. The franchise. I had to explain that. And then I had to explain that what a very, very close friends of ours have a son who's a very close friend who is very openly gay. Openly gay. We knew who's gay early on. We just did. We just knew. He's running 3 Chick-fil-A's. I'd explain it to kids. I was like, just because the media tells you that you are that a company is racist or a company is anti-gay or transphobic doesn't mean that your thoughts stop there. Your critical thinking, your thirst should begin there to find the truth. And that's the truth. And that's funny. My kids would always come, Dad, you can't say that. That's racist. Dad, you can't say that. That's racist. I had to explain to them that Dad is racially insensitive at times because I'm not sensitive about my race, so I don't care. And not racist. Not one little racist bone. Just, I say racially insensitive things. I say culturally insensitive things. I say gender inappropriate things. I don't care. It's just fun. It's for comedy. People know me, and y'all know me, so it just is what it is. But it's easy to see what's happening with these kids and these shootings. It has absolutely nothing to do with guns. It has everything to do with this division and this stoking of the flames of hate and stoking the flames of division that are driving kids that have underdeveloped brains. Understand this, your brain isn't fully developed till you're in your early 20s. These have non-fully formed brains yet, and they're out there reacting to what they're told on social media and the corporate media and the politicians. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And it's frightening. Before we get to your comments here, and once again, thanks for hanging out. This is Russell and Hunter's The Brewmance. Rob's going to be back with us on Friday for the nooner. We do that at noon. Fantastic. We pre-recorded last week because I had an appointment. I had an appointment to go get a tattoo. I'll tell you about that a little bit later. Ouch! Yeah, that's really all there's you need to know about it. But before we get to your comments here, and I do want to react to some of those and put on my old man glasses. An interesting thing going back to NFL, MLB, professional sports, and something that is important to me, and that is gun rights. The Second Amendment of the United States it's absolute. It just is. I'm sorry, shall not be infringed. We need to just, if I could have a tattoo, probably should say shall not be infringed. Might redo that one. The NFL, MLB, and every major sports, NHL, I think the WNBA was on there. There's several. heads of whatever division it is for diversity, inclusion, or whatever, wrote to Congress, all signed on to a letter to Congress, trying to renew a piece of legislation that they say is keeping those bad guys out, is taking away your ability to conceal a firearm. This act, actually, part of it, they're saying, oh, no, this is the only part of the law. Wink, wink. The only part of the law that says that a certain amount of any firearm that is around any type of sporting event has to be an X amount metal, so metal detectors can pick it up. Wink, wink, wink. That's the only part of the it's the only part of the legislation. It's good. So ask yourself if those are the types of organizations that you want to give your money to. And again, you are not going to peel me away from Major League Baseball. You're just not. It's going to take something huge, not just one of their vice presidents of security at stadiums or whatever signs on to a letter that goes to Congress, because those bozos are only going to do what self-serves them. You're not going to peel me away from baseball. I'm going to watch baseball. I love baseball. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it kind of goes back to that whole, the Black National Anthem, the whole the divisiveness of that. Baseball, sports is unifying. Sports is a unifying thing. We have this commonality, and finding commonality is good. And it's unifying. It's good. Unless you are wearing an opposing jersey at Dodger Stadium. See, I was raised at Dodger Stadium, and there's no unifying if you're wearing a Giants jersey at Dodger Stadium. There's no unification. If you're wearing a Dodger jersey at Dodger Stadium, it's very unifying. You're a member of a 50,000 member gang. You're good. You're just fine. I remember when Dodger Stadium years ago decided the right field area, the right field pavilion is what they call it, became an all-you-can-eat. So Dodger dogs, popcorn, nachos, and sodas, I think were all you can eat. There was this poor guy, and I got a ticket there with doubleheader. Thinking, right? There was this poor kid who wanted to be in the right field pavilion, but he's wearing a Colorado Rockies jersey, and we were playing the Colorado Rockies. Let me tell you how quickly free Dodger dogs become projectiles. This poor kid was not physically, he wasn't hurt. It wasn't like he had to go to the hospital. This guy was pelted by Dodger dogs, nachos, and popcorn. I mean, just absolutely pelted the poor kid. Yeah. Let's do this, right? Let's get to your comments. Thanks for playing along with us. And again, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on Facebook, get over to YouTube and subscribe and play along. Thanks. Lynn, yes, the comments, they are interesting. I firmly believe that the comment section in social media is probably the weirdest, sometimes the darkest part of our entire society. I firmly believe that, because the things that people say is absolutely horrible. Greg, who do I follow? Proud member of the Red Sea. And by proud, I mean I hold my nose and jump into the Red Sea. Yes, I'm a Cardinals fan. That's who I follow. I'm a Cardinals fan. Yes. Eddie, thank you so much. It is good to be here. It's good to have you here with us, especially. And let's get in this. Rhonda, let me talk about this Lahaina thing. Rhonda said you were so right about Lahaina. I guess if nothing else, it's a tragic tale of how our government has completely 100% failed us as we the people. It is a lesson in what I believe to be the most egregious act of corporate greed since BlackRock came around. And one of the most frightening examples of government power that hopefully we will ever see. I hope that is the height of it all. I hope that's as high as it goes. That is the height of government power that we have used against us. I would hope so. Yes, Greg, your condolences. Yes. All right. Yeah, Seattle's. Well, I get it. All right. Hey, as long as they got that coach out of there. Yeah. Your coach before he retired was 137 years old. He really was. He looked like he was 50. There was some weird deal he had with something. I don't know what he was eating, but I want it. I'm telling you. Yes. You know something, Eddie? It's a good point. I would say that I would actually agree with Eddie here. The vast majority of, I would say, the Black American community doesn't even know the lyrics to the song that they've been had deemed as their national anthem, not their national anthem, but they know every single line to the national anthem, right? Oh man. And Stephanie, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, it's in Mark. Yeah, aren't you glad? Yeah, that Obama fixed health insurance. How'd you understand that? Obamacare was not health care reform. It was health insurance reform. And it was made to pay a very powerful, very wealthy group back in the insurance companies, just like the majority of the response for COVID was to make billionaires out of the pharmaceutical industry and continue to do so. Oh, by the way, I shouldn't be pitching another podcast, but whatever. I mean, we love you guys. You love us. Tell us what you're listening to. We'd love to tell you what we're listening to. Joe Rogan apparently, and I have to double check this, has I believe one of the heirs of a pharmaceutical company on his latest podcast, just busting it wide open. Just saying, here's how this started. I'm talking about human experiments, all this, whoa, kind of crazy stuff. But anyway, the Not So Affordable Healthcare Act was insurance reform, and it made insurance wildly unaffordable. It just absolutely screwed up everything. Because when you mandate that you can't turn someone down for a pre-existing condition, that looks good on paper if you're trying to get reelected. That looks good in a campaign speech, doesn't it? I voted to make sure that these evil insurance companies, they can't turn you down for a pre-existing condition. Well, they can sure charge you more. Yeah, that's fine. And remember here in Arizona, and if you're from out of town, I'm right here in Arizona. Arizona at a moment had no insurance companies. None. An Obama administration had to jump in there and go, oh, hey, you can charge whatever you want. Just please come back. And they did. Yes, Greg, that was part of it was Cobra. And I actually looked into a lot of those co-op programs as well. And I really wasn't seeing anything greater, probably a little bit less expensive. But again, on my cash pay program, which I was on for years, had 3 surgeries on cash pay, saved money above paying for monthly insurance. Yes. And I believe that RFK commercial was brilliant. It was sad that he had to apologize to his family for it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. All right, Del, my man. Del, how you doing? I love your take on Nikki Haley's motivation for continuing. It's super PACs. That's what this is. She is interviewing for the rest of her gig. I did not like what Donald Trump did when Donald Trump was going after her husband. Where is he? Where's her husband? Where's her husband? He's overseas fighting. My man, come on. Like, his handlers got to be. That's on us. That one's on us. He should have known what was going on. We should have told him. Definitely. Nikki Haley is I mean, she's politically, at least conservative wise, politically, she's toast. She took on Donald Trump and lost. I think everybody else is kind of seeing that. And I think she's kind of done. She's done. Chris Christie is just mind blowing to me. And I'm sorry if anyone here is from New Jersey. I really apologize. If you're hanging out and listening to us, I love you. Thank you so much if you're watching. What's up with some of your peeps? Because Chris Christie just seems like that stereotypical out of central casting Jersey guy. And he's like, I'm going to be tough and I'm going to talk trash about Donald Trump. And I'm the only one that does. Yeah, forget about Bridgegate. I'm going to be the only one to talk tough about Donald Trump. There's this flipping and flopping, and I just don't see it. Yeah. Okay, Del, you're a music dude too. I know you. You're a music guy because everybody loves the drummer, buddy. Yes. The sparkly outfit. Yeah, the relationship totally is fake. It just really is. This is a total PR stunt. I'm glad you're with me on that. Thanks, Greg, for the kind words, and Jerry, thank you as well. Jeff, thanks guys for hanging out, and thanks for commenting along. And please keep it going. We'll play along a little bit after the show as well, and we'll keep things going. And it says here, because on our little program here, hey Mike, check out. All right, sent you a message about hunting. Uh-oh, Eddie. You're speaking my language, my man. All right. Oh, and you play bass? Oh, bunch of people that are more talented than I, as usual, in our comment section. Musicians, I'm blown away. That's why I just love the Usher halftime. I'm like, dude's just a talented guy. It's just fun to watch. I just love watching this kind of talent. Thank you so much for playing along tonight. And we'll do this the nooner on Friday. Rob will be back, God willing. I hope it's not something serious. He's just sick and a little under the weather. So thanks for hanging out with us. This is Russell and Hunters, the Brewmance. You can find us on all the social media channels. Please subscribe, follow along, comment, have a great time, and just jump in there. And we'll see you next time, Friday at noon. It's a date. See you then.